Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit. I'm also here to hang out with all of you. And I'm going to start things off tonight. We're going to get wild with it. I'm going to start by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can just say hi or use other people's emotes. If you feel like being a lurker, also you can just go ahead and lurk. That's okay. Rah. Great start, Pat. Great start. But yeah, this is your opportunity to let me know you're here, which is cool. Or if you want to be a lurker, you can lurk. That's also cool as well. We are currently at 26 subscribers. The goal is to get to 40. Once I hit the goal of 40, I shut up again until the number drops below 40, and then I talk about it again. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Welcome, welcome. You could be like Lashbrook, who gifted a sub this month. If you want to join the gift sub leaderboard, you could also cheer, and that would get you on the cheer leaderboard, which would also be cool. Lord Crashington says, hey Pat, it's too hot here as we're hitting 90s for the next few days. Yes, Lord Crashington, I'm not hitting 90s, but it is getting hotter here as well. We had a brief kind of like preview of the fall around here. There was a day last week where we turned the air conditioning off and opened the doors and windows. But that's not happening. That's not coming. It's getting nasty out there as well. Not cool. The weather is not cooling off. We're getting an extended element to the summer for sure. I'm looking at here because apparently I got a little sticker here that went on wrong. I put it on wrong in my haste on Saturday stream, so I'm correcting that. Now it's on the back of the kit, and you would have never known, but I know. So I'm fixing that right now. I'm just going to do that. We're not even doing it on camera. I'm just doing it to do it. I noticed it right before we went live, and it annoyed me. So I managed to peel it off, and now I'm setting it back where it should be. Hell yeah. We're good. Whew, took care of that. This kit has so many stickers left. I got a bunch of stickers here to apply. We're nowhere near done with fucking stickers because we probably got leg stickers, and it looks like I know the shield has a sticker on it. There's stickers to apply. We'll be doing that tonight, along with model kit build it and hanging out and all that. Speaking of which, let's go to the overhead camera so you can see what I'm up to here. We've got some feet. We built some feet. We got some of the leg. We did get started on a leg, so we did get a little of that done. A little bit of the leg got constructed, and then which is just. Yeah, it's just this step here into that step there. And then we will be building more of the leg shortly. Although now that I look at this, I think I may have done something wrong here. Oh no, I was looking ahead. Lord Crashington is on an 85 stream streak, which is a wild streak to have. Thank you for watching so much, Lord Crashington, and thank you for letting me know about the streak. No, okay, I was looking in the wrong spot. All right, this is one leg here that we are correct on, which is great. Let's go. We're at the overhead. Let's get into business. I mean, okay, Lord Crashington wants me to dance button. I will. If you watch the streams, you get channel points. You can use those channel points for a variety of things. The most common one people click on is, of course, the dance button. Here's the dance button. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's see where we're at here. So we're working on our model kit. Thank you for using your channel points for the dance button. I hope you enjoyed the dance button. I gotta redo all this because right now I'm still getting this thing where if the table shakes, this shakes. I have to like move everything. I have to like extend things. It's a whole process that I don't want to do. But I will because my computer is in need of a cleaning, a dusting. Gotta dust the old computer. And when I dust the computer, that's a good excuse to move things around and maneuver things and get things a little better to reduce that shake. Because my camera arm is solid, but it is, it's on it's clamped to a table which is separated. There is this gap between the table and this table, or the build table, but they're both on carpet. So like they're still kind of connected. They're not fully separate. In theory, for best practices, I would have this camera mounted to something that was attached to something way heavier than my current setup, so that the vibrations would be absorbed. I don't have that luxury. I don't have that option. So I'm doing the best I can with what I've got. But that would improve things if I was suddenly in that position. But I am not in that position, so I can't. All right, that's 29. So we need 29 for this next step here. Working on the legs. Working on one leg right now. All right, so that needs a polycap. That goes in there. It goes into B16, and then we'll also need B18, which I got out as well. So I didn't talk about this over the weekend. I missed this news story, but I did feel like we should probably talk a bit about it, because it is good to chat about these things as they come up. We do cover this stuff here on the Build with Bear Workshop. There were some layoffs at the tail end of last week in the video game industry, specifically at Visual Concepts, the 2K Games Visual Concepts, their Visual Concepts South, their Orange County based studio. It seems like most, if not all, of the 3D team were let go, the art team. Looks like they had big layoffs in their art department. Let's see. They worked on 2K Drive, the Lego game, Lego 2K Drive, and they've also been a support studio for NBA games. This is the first time that there have been layoffs at Visual Concepts South, although their Austin studio last year had a bunch of layoffs as well. And of course, 2K has not given any comment on this, but we did want to say that there have been layoffs there. But there apparently were also design and engineering layoffs, although mostly it was the art team. So no word from 2K on this, but they generally don't talk about layoffs. But I did want to report on that because that is a thing that happened, and we do talk about layoffs in the gaming space on this stream, so thought we would talk about that there. Also, a thing that we do here because it interests me, and it is a thing that I do talk about wrestling. Hey, guess what? We're going to talk about wrestling tonight. All In happened yesterday, and it was a fucking great show, and I'm going to talk about it. But before I talk about All In, I do want to talk about a death that occurred, or was at least announced today, that Sid Eudy has passed away. The name Sid Eudy might not mean anything to you. You may be more familiar with his various last names, either Sid Vicious or Sid Justice. If that does not ring a bell, maybe Psycho Sid does. And if that doesn't, that's okay. He was a wrestler in the 90s into the 2000s, a bit in the 80s as well. He passed away from complications due to cancer at the age of 63, which is young, certainly, but from his generation of wrestlers, that is not that young, all things considered, which is a shame. But that is, unfortunately, an early death is pretty common for that generation of professional wrestler. So, Sid Vicious, you will hear a lot about Sid. Psycho Sid, Sid Justice, the various incarnations of his name that he used. Sid was a larger-than-life figure. He was incredibly imposing. He was a giant of a man that was very strong and intimidating. He's a man that had a bleach blonde, long-haired perm, but was still terrifying. A larger-than-life figure, as I said, for sure. He is known for not knowing that one of his interviews was live and asking to start again and being told, "We're live, pal," by Jim Ross. He is known as the master and ruler of the universe. He is known for yelling about his car. His car was totaled, and he was... Okay, so he shows up driving a car. Goldberg shows up, tows the car away. They come back later. The car has been totaled. It has been flattened. It is down like several layers like that. It is completely flattened. And he just starts yelling, "No, my car! Goldberg, my car! No!" And as he is emoting in that way, he is literally standing on the wreckage of his car because, of course, he doesn't actually care about that car because it wasn't his car. There will be people that say that he got too memed over the years and people were too mean about it and made him into a joke, and he wasn't a joke. And partially that's true. That Psycho Sid wasn't a joke at the time. That he was a threat, and he was a larger-than-life figure that cut very interesting promos because he was a very intense talker. He would talk really quietly and then get really loud, and he would pontificate, and you believed him. You believed that there was something off about the man in his abilities to communicate. He was a wonderfully weird dude. The main thing I know, Psycho Sid is probably the worst moment of his career. Yes, his career in ring ended due to an injury he suffered doing a move that he probably had no business doing. It was requested of him that suggested to him that he do this particular move, which he did off a rope, which was not someplace he was comfortable with, and he ended up injuring himself. That is probably what he is most known for. There are two other things that he is known for. Sid is there for the infamous Shockmaster reveal. He is one of the heels that the Shockmaster is appearing to right the wrongs and eventually do combat with. And he is also remembered probably. There's a bunch of stuff with Sid. That's a big one. The We're Live Pal is a big one. I don't know. There are some memorable Sid moments. He is like remembered fondly as just being a weird man. There was at one point where he quit wrestling for 2 years to pursue softball. The man loved softball. That was his actual passion, was playing and watching softball. He definitely had a large, weird physique. He was an interesting looking guy, terrifying at sometimes. He was a babyface that could beat people up. That was kind of when he was a babyface. It was the belief that he would then be a strong man and, help out the good guys, but he could turn at any point. He wasn't going to be a babyface for long. Hello, Just Another Spicy. Lord Crashton was looking at Sid's Wikipedia page and suggests that, one, he eventually got good enough to wrestle again. He mostly just wrestled Jerry Lawler, a bunch of very small promotions. Yes. So, career-ending injury took him out of the major leagues, took him out of wrestling for a long time. He was very bitter. He was very sad. Years later, he would return to the ring in various capacities and in smaller promotions, working for some good amount of money, where he did wrestle, but he didn't have to do much. He was an attraction. He wasn't going to choke slam people. He wasn't going to power bomb people. He was going to do clotheslines. He was going to do punches. He was going to be there and it was going to be cool. And then whoever he was fighting was going to bump all over the place, including Eddie Kingston, and Jerry Lawler and various other or Jerry Lawler's promotions. He did come back to WWE for the 1000th episode of Raw. They were doing in the lead up to Raw 1000. They had a gimmick where Heath Slater was like, I don't care. We keep having all these every week. Heath Slater for several weeks would be like, oh, we keep having all these old fogies show up, and he is a Southern man, and he was doing a Southern voice. I'm not doing this to make fun of him. I'm doing an impression of the character. And he was like, oh, I'm tired of all these guys or whatever. And then some figure of the past would show up and then beat the shit out of him. And then on Raw 1000, a bunch of people that had been there previously that still work for the company or whatever were there, including Sid. And then they all just beat the shit out of him. And then you get cheap pop. It's a good bit, and they did it. And at one point, like, it was very clear that like the character was just like, I don't think anybody else is gonna come out, so I'm just gonna let you know. It's like, oh no, son, you're about to get real beat up in a real bad way. Yeah, Sid is. He was a wild card. He definitely played the game in the 90s. Was in WCW, went to WWF, went back to WCW. He was very unhappy in his WCW run towards the end. He was which makes sense because that was a bad company at the time. He liked working with small guys that would bump for him. Some of his best matches are under 5 minutes because it would just be, you see this large man throw someone around and then the people would cheer for him. He had a run in New Japan. I have never seen any of his matches in New Japan. I bet they are interesting. I know he didn't travel extensively in Japan because he did not like to travel, but you haven't seen that. Also, I do have to talk about. There was the time where he and Arn Anderson could have killed each other, not in the ring, but there was a altercation. There were a bunch of guys at a bar after a WCW show, lamenting how the business had changed and the numbers weren't what they wanted to be and all this. Sid was not part of that conversation, but overheard the conversation and decided that that was a great time to say, the problem in this business is old fucks like you guys are stepping out of the spotlight. That's the problem with the business. That led to him and Arn having a shoving contest. And Sid was mad. Apparently, Sid, in a drunken state in his hotel room, just was not with anybody to calm him down, worked himself up, broke a leg off of a hotel room chair, a wooden leg, and went to go find where Arn was. He was banging on Arn's door, and apparently during that, he sobered up enough to go, what the fuck am I doing? And went to leave. This is according to Sid, that was like, I'm done. I shouldn't be doing this. What am I even doing? But that was too late because the door opened and Arn Anderson was there with a pair of scissors. And then they stabbed each other a lot with scissors and were bleeding all over the place. And apparently at some point, years later, they made amends with each other, which is always nice to hear. But that is one of the most infamous Sid stories, was the scissors incident with good old Arn Anderson. Completely wild nonsense thing where I'm glad nobody was killed. But Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck? What the fuck, guys? What are we doing here? But yeah, Sid will be remembered for being loud and wild and cool, and a weird promo. Understood his character very well, maybe. Also, sometimes Sid would just forget how to wrestle good. Sometimes we just forget how to work, but would manage to get by on a lot of charisma. So, goodbye to Sid Justice, Sid Vicious, Psycho Sid. Yeah. Only was in 2 WrestleManias, but he headlined both of them. Sid Udy, rest in peace. Getting to fight with Arn Anderson, yes. Yes. So because Sid went to Arn's hotel room. That is why Sid got fired. Because Sid instigated the drinking argument, which was fine and it got diffused. But then Sid, in his drunken state, psyched himself up to go and find Arn Anderson and almost did kill him, but then also almost died himself. But yeah, if he had just stayed in his hotel room, nobody would have said anything. They would have talked it out later, and it wouldn't have been a big deal. But he did go to find a guy, and you can't go and find a guy. You got to let that shit go. You can't go. But yes, Sid did pass away, and I did want to talk about it because I do generally mention it when known wrestlers' names, especially names from my childhood, do get brought up. I like to mention it now and again. Speaking of wrestling stuff, we'll get into All In 2024. This was AEW's big show. It is their WrestleMania style show. The all stops, the huge card. They have done it. This now is the second year. They have done it in London. Next year it will be in Dallas. They will be doing a stadium show, and Forbidden Door will be in, which is one of their other bigger shows. That will be in London, which is honestly, for the Japanese wrestlers, that's probably fucking rad, because the jet lag is not as bad for anybody from Japan. It will be worse for the American wrestlers and the Mexican wrestlers. They will have a worse time. But the Japanese wrestlers performing at Forbidden Door 2025 will have a much better experience flying from Japan to London. That'll be way better for those folks. A lot easier. Yes, Lord Crashington. That certainly both WCW in those days and WWF in those days. There are many, many, many stories about drunkenness after tours. Especially in European tours, that is a thing that happened quite a bit. Not everybody got along. Some people tried. Not everybody could do it. But yes, All In happened. I'm going to go through the card. I was wrong about a bunch of results, but I got the ones I think were important right. Okay, so our first match on the card, which was not. It wasn't even mentioned the night before. I didn't talk about this match on Saturday because it was not announced until Sunday. Reportedly, this match came in very hot. This was a late decision to do this match. So much so that... and how do I know that? Well, because one of the competitors in this match found out a couple days before All In, hey, we're doing a match. We want you and your tag team partner there. Alex Reynolds... one half of the tag team of Reynolds and, pardon me, this thing looks wrong, and I'm confused if I did this wrong or not. So hold on one second. The tag team of Reynolds and Silver, or Silver and Reynolds, did not know he was going, so much so that he was expecting to not be there and planned for his son's birthday party to be that Sunday. And apparently, instead, they celebrated the birthday on Saturday, and then he flew Saturday night to London, which is wild. But again, he was not scheduled and not booked, and that happens in wrestling all the time. But yeah, it just unfortunately was weird timing for Alex, but it ended up working out because he's in the match. So this was Tommy Billington. Tommy Billington, who is the nephew of the Dynamite Kid. So he's the Dynamite Kid, Tommy Billington. Kip Sabian, who is British. Rocky Romero, Kyle Fletcher, Leo Rush, Action Andretti, and Darius Martin and Dante Martin, Top Flight. They defeated Jay Lethal, Satnam Singh, Anthony Ogogo, who is British, Arya Daivari, Private Party, who are Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, and the Dark Order, John Silver and Alex Reynolds, with Evil Uno as a manager, and Sanjay Dutt as a manager. This was a bit of a fucking mess in many ways, because Some of these people aren't really heels, but they are heels. Some of the faces aren't really faces. It was a weird bit of business. Like Kyle Fletcher's kind of a face, but his manager is a heel. And Jay Lethal has been working face for quite a while. Private Party are heels, I guess, but still really liked by the crowd. This was just like, let's just fucking throw a bunch of motherfuckers together. There's another match that also is, let's throw a bunch of motherfuckers together as well. The pre-show originally was one match and then they added more, which you expect, but they added a lot of weird shit. Anyway, the good guys won. It's a good start to the show. A bunch of British people and the nephew of a Brit. So sure, we'll do that and we'll get that going and people will be happy about that. My first match that I called incorrectly, Willow Nightingale and Tomohiro Ishii defeated Chris Statlander and Stokely Hathaway by pinfall. Pat, why did you not think that? Why did you predict that the heels were going to win when Chris Statlander has kind of been beating Willow Nightingale? Why didn't you think there'd be that in the pre-show? Well, because there's a stipulation for that match. That match has a stipulation that the winning person, the winning woman on the mixed gender team, would get to decide the stipulation for the CMLL Women's World Championship match at All Out in 2 weeks between Chris and Willow. And I generally, the heel wins if a stipulation is on the line, because generally the babyface doesn't care about stipulations. They want a good, clean, traditional match, and the heels want something that they can manipulate in their favor. So I didn't expect that. I guess I should have expected that all of the pre-show matches would be big babyface wins to, hype up the crowd and hype up the home audience that's watching the show because the pre-show is free, and then would be like, oh wow, that was really fun. I'm gonna buy this pay-per-view. I'm gonna spend $50 on the show I wasn't sure I was gonna watch or not. $50 plus tax, you got it. That pre-show was so good that I'm gonna buy this thing right now. Who knows? Get some people on the fence. Anyway, I should have predicted that. I didn't. I did predict that the Von Erichs, Marshall Von Erich, Ross Von Erich, they are the sons of Kevin Von Erich. He was there as their manager. Sammy Guevara, Katsuyori Shibata, and Dustin Rhodes would defeat the United Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, and the Cage of Agony, Brian Cage, Bishop Kaun, and Toa Leona. On Saturday, I didn't know who was involved in that match. I only knew that the Von Erichs and Dustin Rhodes were going to be in a match, and I was like, okay, well, they win that. They win that. Adding Shibata in there, yes, they're definitely going to win that. They were like one of the last things before the show went into the main thing. Even Chris Statler. Well, Lashbrook, they did win on Collision. They had a squash match on Collision, and Stokely got the pinfall. So they did win. It's just they couldn't win 2 nights in a row. They, I should say this about Stokely Hathaway. He is a trained wrestler. Stokely did go through training in Chikara. Chikara's Wrestle Factory had a thing where if you were going to be a manager or a referee, you went through the training. Did he complete all of it? I don't know. But he did have basic training. He has had wrestling matches. This was not like a completely... I mean, he's had wrestling matches in AEW, but he's had wrestling matches on the indies as well. He didn't do any wrestling in WWE. He just focused on managing there. But yeah, he does have training. He can run the ropes. He can do a bunch of things. He can sell, all that. But yeah, that was their whole thing. Was that if you're going to be a part of the organization, you learn to bump just like everybody else. And that definitely helps some managers that came through there stand out. So yeah, I knew the 10-man, that was it. One thing that was cool leading into this pay-per-view, or leading into the main, when we finished up with the pre-show and we got into the show element of it, they did something I haven't seen before, which is during the pre-show, all 4 teams from the first match made their entrances. you got to see all the entrances on the pre-show, and you got to see these variety of people and be like, oh, Pac is on a team with Blackpool Combat Club, with Claudio and Wheeler. That's cool. Ooh, the patriarchy. Ooh. Oh, look, two members of the patriarchy are wearing all black, and for some reason, Nick Wayne is wearing white and gold, which is the colors of the Bang Bang Gang, which they're all wearing. That's weird. Why did Nick Wayne do that? But Bang Bang Gang comes out. Juice Robinson, Austin, and Colton Gunn. House of Black come out. And they look cool as fucking shit and evil. It's weird to watch them come out when it's still daytime because it's an outdoor show, but they're coming out. That's fun. And then the pay-per-view starts, and all the teams are in the ring, and we don't start with 8 minutes of intros. We start with the teams fighting each other in a London ladder match where Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club won. And I have to hope that there is a story for this. I have to hope there's a story because they have not said a word as why Pac would want to tag up with Claudio and Yuta, why they would want to tag with Pac. I do not understand why they would do that. It does not make any sense to me. There's no real reason for that. Why a team who's only wrestled twice won the trios belts off of teams that have competed as a trio consistently does not make sense to me. The only thing that makes sense to me is this originally was probably going to be Death Triangle, which is the Lucha Brothers and Pac, which would have made way more sense. But also, if you're not going to book the Lucha Brothers because of shenanigans and contract stuff and whatever's happening there, which we don't know all of, we know some of probably, we can make some gesture about some of it, then fucking change your plans. Put Pac in something else and have him win something else. Like, what are we doing here? Just to get Pac a win with a team that he's not a member of because he's not in the fucking Blackpool Combat Club, unless he's joining it, in which case that's a weird fit because he's a much more all-around wrestler than the rest of them. I mean, his attitude is probably right for it, but I don't know. I think the Blackpool Combat Club should break up because Brian is going to go into semi or full retirement. Mox isn't around. Yuta has not really been elevated. I guess Yuta has a title now. Wheeler Yuta is a champion in AEW, but yeah. The actual cause problems for me is I really counted like 10 minutes of recapping the card to get some stuff done, going to the bathroom. Lashbrook, you cannot count on AEW for that, ever. Even with entrances, you cannot count on AEW. They do not take time in between matches at all. They have video packages that are under a minute to 2 minutes and maybe a special entrance, and that's it. They had the only stalling they did all night was when they brought out Martha Hart. They brought out Martha Hart, and that's it. Oh, the end of the pre-show. They totally do a rundown usually. Yes, Lord Lashbrook. They usually do that. They did not this time. But also, I would say they're probably going to do what they did yesterday going forward because I think it was really effective. And also, they did a rundown like throughout it because they have 2 hours. You know, they got the 2 fucking hours to go and do it. So, to continue talking about the card, Mariah May defeated Timeless Tony Storm with Luther in Tony's Corner, the return of Luther, for the AEW Women's World Championship in what is one of the best AEW women's matches. I think it was better than Mina versus Tony, which was one of the best women's matches, certainly of the year. I also think that Willow versus Mercedes was solid as hell, as probably Mercedes' best match in AEW to date. Because I think the Stephanie Vacour match was good, but the Long Island audience just didn't quite get behind her, and that makes sense why they wouldn't, because they don't know who she is, because the AEW didn't do good enough job selling who she is. But yeah, Mariah May is fantastic. She is in her 20s. It is fucking wild that She has come in being part of one of the hottest characters in the promotion. Won the Owen, and then also became world champion. Very deserved. Fantastic showing for both of them. After the match, Toni Storm via video was seen wandering away from the arena. So, is this the end of the character? Is it going to be a deepening, a worsening of the character? I don't know. I can't tell you exactly what's going on with that character going forward. It's, to me, evident that, like, maybe Tony's going to stay timeless. I don't know. The shock of losing the belt could snap her out of it. And we could see the end. I think if you're going to end this character, this is the way to do it. Losing the belt, losing everything, having to rebuild herself, either into a new incarnation of Toni Storm or a return to previous Toni. She's got to go back to her roots or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, good on her. Good on both of them. The video of her walking out in the arena. Yeah, she just she like hops a barricade. It's good. One could argue that Mariah May and Timeless Toni Storm deserved better on the card than the second match of the main show, on a card that featured some real stinker shit. Perhaps it is not wrong to say that Mercedes Moné is a bigger star in the world of wrestling. And there are two belts. One could say that the TBS Championship is a secondary belt, and I think you're accurate for thinking that. But between Mariah and Toni and Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné, that you put that one on later, I can hear that argument. We'll get to that match later. But I do think that it was probably on a little too early. It could have gone on later, but it was fucking awesome. Hook defeated Chris Jericho with Big Bill and Brian Keith. Had Hook lost for the FTW Championship, had Hook lost, he would never be able to challenge for the FTW Championship, while Chris Jericho won that belt. Was champion. He did win with an assist from his dad. Taz, the announcer, came from the announce deck, put Brian Keith in a submission because FTW there are no rules, so you can just do that. It's the Outlaw Championship. And this feud has gone on way too long. It did not need to end at Wembley. It could have ended on a fucking episode of Dynamite. My hope is that Chris Jericho... One, I would like the learning tree, this gimmick, to be over, because it sucks. It sucks so much. It's only been okay for Brian Keith because he's at least on fucking TV. Big Bill is bigger than this shit. Jericho is just fucking... just a waste of time and energy. And I don't care how meta he fucking gets. It's not cute or fun. It's just fucking annoying. I would love this to be the end of the gimmick. I would love Chris to not be on fucking Dynamite on Wednesday cutting a promo, but I fear he will. I pray to God that Hook is done with this, that Hook does not have to suffer these fools anymore, that Hook can then start feuding with somebody else, anybody else. I think it would be best for him. I don't think this feud... Look, there was a moment where this feud helped out Hook. It gave us Hook and Shibata and Samoa Joe, which was fantastic. That trio is wonderful. I hope when Samoa Joe is back from filming the TV show, that he comes back and they resume their antics, because their antics were good. The other thing that happened in that feud that was solid was Jericho got pinned in a 6-man tag by Hook after Hook used Jericho's signature move, his finisher, the Judas effect. That's kind of a big deal to be pinned by your own move. That felt like a giving moment from one Chris Jericho. Unfortunately, that's it. And that won't be remembered because it was dragged on for so long that there's no good, there's just no good, there will be no good memories of this feud. It's a bad time. Honestly, if I'm going to be truthful, what really needs to happen for Hook is he needs a manager or a friend to do the talking for him, because this is a young man that just is not comfortable talking. And I am not of the opinion that you have to talk. If you can talk, if you can talk, you can cover up for a lot of bad wrestling. You can be an okay wrestler that can talk real good, and you will have a job for a very long time. And especially if you get injured, you can talk your way out of anything. I think having that skill is incredible and is awesome. But I do not think that it is 100% necessary for wrestling. I think if your wrestling skill is strong enough, you can just fucking wing it. And you can get by with not being the strongest voice. But here's the thing. Sorry, I just want to look to see. Okay, so that's... Oh, it like feeds through? Yeah, okay. Black goes on the outside. All right. Here's the thing. If you are not a good speaker as a professional wrestler, talking is not what you should be doing. Hook is an awkward young man. He is a quiet young man. That is his fucking thing. It is very clear that anytime he has to talk, it's a bad choice to give him a microphone. And so either don't have him talk, have people talk for him, whatever they need to do. But they need to do something about it. It just ain't working. The Young Bucks retained their tag team championships in the three-way tag match against Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood of FTR, the Acclaimed Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, and Daddy Ass Billy Gunn inside for them. This match was as good as I thought it would be. I had pretty much no interest in it. I'm sorry. I just realized that the Wikipedia page here does not list all of the people involved in the Casino Battle Royale. I want to see if they do list it later here. Do they list it? Yes, they did list the order. Great. They do list it later on the page, so I can find it. Great. This tag team thing, as soon as FTR started sniffing around, I was like, oh, are they going to fucking cut the line? Is this going to be fucking FTR versus the Young Bucks again? I'm sick of this shit. Between that and the fact that Max Caster is just bad news in so many different directions, in so many different ways, AEW has a great... I kind of realized during the entrances I don't want any of those teams to win. Yes, Lashbrook. I wanted just Anthony Bowens to win. I was like, could Anthony Bowens but not Max Caster be tag team champion? That is what I was hoping for. And obviously that's not possible, but I was like, what if one guy wins? What if just one guy that I like wins, and it doesn't matter if anybody else does, but the one guy I like manages to pull off a victory? Is that possible? No. Okay, fine. Everything's really stale. I think the heels winning, retaining their belts, the biggest heel group having that belts, I think makes total sense. I think the Bucks, I would like to see the Bucks defending the belts more often. Even though they're heels, even if it's just squash matches, I think that would be better. If the Acclaimed and FTR start feuding, that's fine. Keeping them away from the belts. I do not want to see either of them next week claiming that they should get another shot, that they would have won if it hadn't been for the other team. Any of that stuff, I don't care. I don't want to see any of that. New Blood, Private Party, Top Flight, Austin and Colton Gunn. They've been champions before, but fucking throw them in. I kind of don't care. The Outrunners, it won't be the Outrunners. Fucking the Gates of Agony, like fucking anything. I don't care. Put these teams out there, let them do their thing. Let's see some other tag teams move up. Members of the conglomeration, Ishii and Kyle. Book it. You know what? Fuck it. Turn the Kingdom babyface. Don't turn to the Kingdom babyface. No, I won't go that far. But like, give me something I haven't seen. Give me some other teams. Break up the Acclaimed eventually. It's time to break up the Acclaimed. This just shit ain't working. Christian Cage won a 12-man casino gauntlet by pinning Kyle O'Reilly. The joke is that Evil Uno, on Wednesday we found out that Evil Uno was in the gauntlet and he got attacked by his former friend. Just to show how it doesn't matter who's in that match. Supposedly, jokingly, we know that Uno was number 13 and was supposed to come out next. And that didn't happen for him. So, the order of entrance was Orange Cassidy, Kazuchika Okada, fucking finally, a former member of Chaos, a stable that Orange Cassidy was in, a guy that is a goofy mid-carder that just has such a good body and such a good work ethic that he became a main eventer in Okada, that is a comedy wrestler at heart and a goofy, fun wrestler at heart. The two of them going back and forth, been waiting for that shit. That was great. And then Nigel McGuinness fucking came out, who I'm sure some people only know Nigel as, oh, he's that British announcer. He's the heel announcer for Collision. Nigel did a spell as an announcer for NXT, and then, of course, now works for AEW, and has worked for quite a bit in AEW. All right, so I need J11 has a lot of stickers. I might finish this kit tonight. Folks, there's a lot of stickers. I was not expecting to finish this kit tonight. I do not know what I will be doing tomorrow, or I do not know what I'll be doing next, but we'll go through the whole process. But I did not realize, I thought these legs were going to take longer to build. They did not take long to build. So, I'll figure it out. I might just make an executive decision on what I'm building next and not leave it up to, Patreon. So Nigel came out. Now, Nigel never retired. He slowed down. In 2011, he had his last match. He just took a long break due to injury to heal up and focused on other parts of the wrestling business. But he never retired. He just took a long break. He came back. He looked real good. Is he as fast as he was? No. But considering he hasn't wrestled in 13 years, fucking Nigel McGuinness looked fucking rad. This whole thing, almost everyone that came out were, and there were a few exceptions, but most of them were fucking wrestle graps. These were Brit wrestle grap people. These are sickos that want to do wrestling in a very particular style that whips fucking ass, and it was cool as hell. So he comes out, he does his thing. Kyle O'Reilly is next. Kyle is so great. Kyle and Nigel, Kyle and Okada, Kyle and Orange kind of working together, and then not working out. Zack Sabre Jr., who, let's be real, should have been on the fucking card last year. It was wild that he wasn't on the first All In. Zack Sabre Jr. comes out. He does a fucking great job. He's whipping ass. It's great. Great wrestle graps for a lot of them there. Zack Sabre Jr. and Nigel McGuinness had an overlap, but by the time people really started to know ZSJ, Nigel was on his way into retirement, so they never really got the full time to really knuckle up. They got in here. Roderick Strong, another Ring of Honor standout. Good to see him in there, even if he's a heel. Mark Briscoe, people love Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe was such a fun element to this match. Hangman Adam Page came in to be mean and to get people upset. And he did that. He wants to win because that was his chance to fight Swerve again. Jeff Jarrett came out to one of the biggest pops he's ever gotten in his fucking life. It is good to remind ourselves that while Jeff Jarrett is a babyface these days because he was doing the right thing and because Owen Hart meant so much to him in reality and in kayfabe, but in reality as well, that he was able to come out and do his best for that match. But also, London in particular, but the UK in general, really loved TNA. There was a period where WWE was not traveling internationally. They were saving money. They weren't doing big shows overseas ever for a long, other than maybe like house shows here and there, but they weren't doing big tours. And TNA would go to the United Kingdom and sell out. They would do arenas and do very well for themselves. There was a lot of love for TNA over in that part of the world. So to me, it made total sense that going over there that they would be fucking psyched to see Jeff Jarrett. And they were. Jeff came out. Then Ricochet. Hey, big news. Ricochet is there. Ireland's own Ricochet. Ricochet trained by Chuck Taylor. Chuck Taylor, one of the first Ricochet. Ricochet was Helios in Chikara before becoming Prince Puma in which most people know him as Prince Puma in Lucha Underground, and then Ricochet on the Indies, and then Ricochet in the WWE, and now Ricochet in AEW. He is all elite. He has been signed. Oh, I did forget to mention that earlier in the night we did have the Grizzled Young Veterans show up. They have been on one show. We do not know if they have signed. Apparently, there was a disagreement about money and the terms of them actually signing a long-term contract to AEW, but apparently enough of that has been figured out that they could get booked for All In to make an appearance. I am looking for a sticker here, and I cannot find it. I am matching symbols. Okay, this. That's this one. This was one. Which sticker is this? Is it this one? It is. It's this one. Okay. It's a really big fucking sticker. But I couldn't figure out where the note of what it looked like was. I found it. But yeah, Ricochet is all elite. He's a member of that company. He's got a match with Kyle Fletcher for Dynamite, apparently. That's rad. Will he be top of the card? Will he be world champion in AEW? No, he'll get lost in the shuffle. He'll do some cool things. He'll get some challenges and not win. But also, he wasn't doing that great in WWE, so he didn't renew his contract because he was wanted to see what was going on. And then Christian Cage came out. That's right. Christian Cage, who had already been in a match that night, came out. And then Killswitch came out. But he was under his original name as Luchasaurus to old music. And people were like, oh, it's finally happening. The crowd bought it. They bought it hook, line, and sinker that finally he was tired of Christian Cage bullshit and he was going to break away and he's going to be Owen's man and he's going to win the gauntlet and have a guaranteed title opportunity whenever he wants. It's not a contract in a briefcase. It's a contract in a folder, but he was going to win that contract. But no, he's not. It was a ruse. He's there to help Christian. Christian now has a guaranteed contract for the AEW World Championship, which is a fucking bummer. Look, hi Pat, talking about the pay-per-view. I still am finished because of family stuff yesterday and Raw right now. John, I totally understand. Hello. You should check it out because it's a great pay-per-view. But I will say, so there are two low points in the pay-per-view. One is a match that we'll get to in a minute, literally in a couple minutes. The other is the finish of this match. Not a fan of it at all. Big disappointment. Christian Cage does not need a world title opportunity. I don't need to see Bryan Danielson versus Christian Cage. Don't need to see it at all. I think just about anybody, literally, yeah, anybody else, Luchasaurus with it would have been more interesting. Anyone else on there would have been more interesting than the winner. It's the least interesting of all of those people. Because what the fuck is a Marco Briscoe versus Bryan Danielson match look like other than bloody? What's Okada versus Danielson? Nigel McGuinness with a world title opportunity is hilarious. Kyle O'Reilly versus Bryan Danielson, coming the fuck on. Hell, Roderick Strong versus Danielson. That's cool as shit. Jeff Jarrett versus Danielson, I don't need. So that's not as interesting. Ricochet versus Danielson, that would be kind of fun. Like, there's so many incarnations of that are so much more interesting than what we got. And that's a real fucking shame that what we ended up with is the thing that I am like really not on board for. And I'm bummed about that. I think a lot of, there's a lot of stuff that could have happened there that would have been super cool. Sorry, I got a little fucking fly running around here. A little fruit fly. Really bothering me. It was definitely one of the most stacked Rumble casts ever. Yes, Lashbrook. Like I said, literally, Jeff Jarrett versus Danielson, I don't need either, but anybody else on the list. Orange Cassidy fighting for the world title against Bryan Danielson. And again, at that point, we didn't know. I knew in my heart that Bryan was winning. But even if you just go, okay, well, it's any of those people versus Swerve Strickland. Also good. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Swerve Strickland sounds fucking rad. Like, that sounds killer. Orange Cassidy versus Swerve Strickland. Like, would he be too cool for Orange's antics? Would he, like, fall for them? Or would he be, like I said, just too fucking cool for school? We'll never fucking know. All right, let me try to find these stickers here. I keep getting distracted by being mad about the outcome of a wrestling thing. Okay, it's this sticker here. Great. To get through this, Will Ospreay defeated MJF. He is the new international champion. He won his international championship back. This was the probably most obvious one of the card, of any match on the card, the most obvious outcome, because there are still some people that are like, I don't know, I could see Bryan losing, like wanting to lose, wanting to go out at Wembley, wanting to go out putting over their champ, their young champ. Like, I could see that. Like, there's a world where that happens. I didn't think it was going to happen, but there's a world where that happens. But in this one, it was just like, yeah, Will Ospreay is going to win this. He's going to win that belt back. He's going to fight Pac at All Out. That's going to be a good match. MJF will hopefully come back and reinvent himself again. Or Danny Garcia came back to kind of help out in Will Ospreay. So hopefully they'll feud. Hopefully that'll be a good feud for both of them, and something a little different to sink their teeth into. That could be good for both those dudes. But really, yeah, that was going to happen. Probably the most disappointing match on the card that isn't the end of the gauntlet is Mercedes Moné with Camille defeating Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, by pinfall for the TBS Championship. Did I think that Britt was going to win? No. I did not think Britt was going to win, but I wanted that match to be better. Mercedes sometimes doesn't pair well with people. Britt probably should have had some more matches other than just the match with Shida as a warm-up on TV or whatever before this match. I am of the opinion that Britt Baker has not improved from 2019 that much, and the division as a whole has greatly improved since she was an AEW original. The level of talent, and also, hey, the people with about the same experience as her have gotten better. Anna Jay has gotten way better as a wrestler. Tay Mello's gotten better as a wrestler. Willow Nightingale has improved leaps and bounds from when she got there, which was already high. Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Layla Gray. Like, there's so many people who have gotten way better than they were when they stepped in the door. And Britt has not. And I think like, like, that was a match they really wanted. I don't think it was good. Besides the fact, I do have to say, Britt's finish, or Mercedes' finisher is bad. The backpack face plant thing is bad. It's a bad move. It doesn't look good. She's got to fucking go back to some old moves or just trade in for a new one. It's stubbornness at this point. Someone's got to fucking tell her it looks like shit. It's not a good move. Ty Conti, you're right. Not Ty Mello, Ty Conti. But yeah, a bunch of people have improved in that division, leaps and bounds. Abaddon, who fucking whips ass, gets to wrestle now outside of October. Like, the division has changed. And it has left our girl Britt in the past. Also should note, earlier the night, was it Britt's fault? I saw that match last night and thought Mercedes did well, maybe a little rusty still. So most of it is that Britt is, I think that Britt is just, well, one, sometimes people don't click. And I don't think either of them clicked. I think Mercedes works best against someone that is bigger than her. So she cheats to overcome it, or she works hard to overcome it, depending on what kind of character she's playing at the time. And Britt Baker is not skilled enough as a wrestler to make it believable that she's going to give Mercedes a hard time. And and some of it was sloppy here and there, but it's mostly just that I think I just think it was a bad matchup and unfortunately not a great match. To get through this before we can move on, Jack Perry defeated Darby Allin in a coffin match to retain the AEW TNT Championship in a match that I thought would be longer. I just really thought that was going to get more time. I don't think it needed more time. I just thought it was going to get more time. You know what I mean? I actually think that was a perfectly acceptable amount of time for that match. They broke out fucking real glass. Not real, but you know what I mean. There was a glass spot. There was a fuck CM Punk chant. It felt kind of cathartic for a few people out there, certainly. And Jack Perry retains his belt, which I think he should. I think that's the right call for him to retain that belt there. Main event, Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland. Bryan made Swerve tap out. This was title versus career. Bryan Danielson is the new AEW World Champion. Holy shit, that's... Yeah. So, I'm of a couple minds of this. I think the match was fucking stellar and killer. I think Swerve obviously he loses the belt. He does not lose any kind of respect that people have for him. I don't think it was like any kind of problems with that. You don't lose standing by losing to Bryan Danielson when his career is on the line. So I thought that was phenomenal. I thought they did a great job with that match. Sorry, there's more stickers that need to go on here. This is J11, which on this side has these two stickers. And then this side has stickers too. Oh, okay, there's a sticker that goes there. And there's one other sticker. Let's put on this sticker first. I don't think you'll lose anything, by losing to him. Bryan has said he never wanted to be champion. This is clearly a Tony Khan thing. So Tony Khan gets to say that Bryan Danielson was an AEW champion. I don't know if this right. I think this reign is going to last till Wrestle Dream. Wrestle Dream in Japan. Not Wrestle Dream. AEW Dynasty in Japan. I think he ends his career in Japan. That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts and feelings. I don't think that he's going to lose it to Christian Cage. I don't think that he's going to lose it to, who Who can he lose? When he has a match with Darby. I don't think he's losing to Darby when that match happens. Yeah, I don't see that going either direction there. I think it'll be a decent length. Like I said, I feel like he loses it next year. John, I don't know if it's against Okada. I don't know who you drop the belt to. I would like to think it's Takeshita. I think even if at this moment, his work in the G1, I think that Takeshita could be built up enough with a variety of wins to be the man that does it. I think that's the match that gets the cheers, even though, like in Japan, that's the guy. Because honestly, I don't fucking think Okada's going to do that show. I think the blood is a little bad. And I don't know if Okada does Forbidden Door in Japan. I'm not 100% convinced he does. Not Forbidden Door, but Wrestle Dynasty in Japan. I don't know for sure. Yeah, see, I think heel Takeshita backed by the family against Brian Danielson with Blackpool Combat Club backing him up is the way to go. I think that's the way to go. I don't know. Also, Jamie Hayter's back. Jamie Hayter came back and knocked some people around, and it was cool. That was in the pre-show. I forgot that from the pre-show. Welcome back, Jamie Hayter. You fucking whip ass. I'm glad you're well enough to be wrestling again. Welcome back to the world of pro raps. I hope you and the grapples. You're a redhead. Look, I'm not 100% convinced that she's a redhead just because it was funny. Because they were... So, this is very small. This is the last thing we'll say before we take our pause for the cause. Becky Lynch has not re-signed with the WWE. She seemingly is not in any talks with AEW. She's just taking time off. Seth's got some time off. They're taking time off together. She's going to re-sign with WWE, certainly. But there were rumors that she was going to show up. Because, it's all in London. She's Irish, blah, blah, blah. So then Jamie Hayter shows up with red hair, and it's not, I don't think that's why, but it was pretty funny. Yes, Jonathan Spicy, Becky is currently a free agent. She is an unsigned wrestler. So again, I don't know if that's the reason, but if it is the reason, it's great. And if it's not the reason, it's a fun coincidence. But that got me laughing. That didn't mean the cackles. Yes. Well, Lord Crashington, as it was explained to me by some Brits, if you win, you're one of us. If you lose, you're from Ireland or Wales or Scotland. But if you win, you're part of the empire. And that is the distinction that I have been told by Brits. So they claim Drew McIntyre when he's winning. British claim things. It's not that big of a surprise. Now is the part of the stream where I'm going to talk to you about ways you can support the channel. Yeah, just under Spicy, I don't expect her to. I do not expect her to do that at all. I expect her to stay in the company that will pay her very fucking well with her husband. That is my guess. But now is the part of the stream where I stop talking about wrestling and I start talking about ways you can support the channel. Everything I'm about to talk about here is optional. You don't have to do any of these things. If you would like to, I would love it. Don't worry about it if you can't. I am about to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the tier 2 blue emote in chat. If you're currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you're not yet a subscriber, you can say hi. Being a subscriber is the easy way to support what I do here. Arista fan, just subscribe to tier 2. That's 72 months. That's 6 fucking years. So let's throw the Bear Cave Lego site tier 2 blue emote in there is also because Aristofan, 6 years. Yeah. I mean, I've been doing it for 7. So, Yeah, Ristofan, that seems about right. Thank you for your continued support. I appreciate it very much. Also, Nathan, hello. Uh, Welcome everybody. Yeah. So yeah, throw in the emotes in there if you can. If you're a subscriber, being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, link through your Twitch, you get that token. You can use it for anyone. If you want to use it for me, your friend Pat, that would be great. Bits and coins are also always appreciated. Gifting a sub would be great. You get yourself on that gift sub leaderboard. Number go up. It's currently at 26. I would love that number to go up even higher. Can we get that shit higher? I don't know. Maybe we can. Maybe we can. There's other ways to support me. My Patreon at patreon.com/PatBear. I am preparing questions for my monthly Q&A that only patrons get to watch. So if you want to see that video, become a patron. It'll go up this week. I'm still getting questions there. Yes, Lord Crashington, it is just like that Creed song. Let's see. Yeah, Patreon, different tiers. I got a YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. Over on my YouTube, you can become a member if you want, $2 a month to get my Wednesday videos a day early. So tomorrow, you'll get my next video as I wrap up the theme for this month of Kuma Baer, the chillest of chill slice of life anime. You'll find out what the fourth one is tomorrow instead of having to wait till Wednesday. Those are monthly ways to support me. If you want to support me on a one-time basis, I have a Ko-Fi and a PayPal. You can send some money that way. Everything I make through direct donations like that, through YouTube, through Patreon, through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And from that fund, I pull money out. And that money goes into a fund where I buy model kits from. This kit, our friend the Throne Drei. I bought this because I was like, I don't know what that kit is. That looks neat. I'll pick that up. It's got cool accessories. So Past You has helped out present me, which is very great. Now, I have a backlog of some stuff. I actually just got some stuff in the mail today. Pretty excited about that. I've got a good backlog of kits that I'll be happy to work on. And my $10 patrons are going to vote on what I build next because we're going to be wrapping up this kit tonight. I did not expect to finish this kit tonight. I thought the legs would take longer. The legs did not take as long as I thought. So, my patrons are going to decide what I build next, my $10 patrons. But if you want to jump the queue and figure out what I'm building and have it be like, nope, don't build stuff for your backlog, Pat. Work on this next. The best way to do that is to buy something from my Amazon wish list. Obviously optional, of course. If you buy something on my wish list that comes to me, I make a dedicated YouTube video about the thing that you purchased, because that's the least I can do is to share the love. And then it jumps the queue, becomes the next thing that I build as soon as the previous thing is done. I've got Lego sets. I got model kits. I have inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits that are always very expensive. Sometimes it's stuff that drops in price. I recently added some Lego kits and some more model kits in there. A bunch of things. See if there's something there you'd like to see me put together, and you could pay for it, and then I'll build it. That's how that works. I should say that it's a long ways off, but I did receive money over the weekend from the end of last weekend, like Friday. I got sent money specifically to pre-order a kit from Premium Bandai. I'm getting the Dragon Gundam. The Dragon Gundam high grade from G Gundam will be shipped in January, and I will receive it sometime in January. So that's a long ways off. That'll jump the queue because that was bought by someone who would like to remain anonymous. They sent me the money specifically for that, and I did go ahead and pick that up. I'm very excited. That'll be the third of the Premium Bandai G Gundam kits. We already built the Rose and the Maxter. I don't know if they're going to make the Bolt, but they are making the Dragon. It would be nice if they made the Bolt. I don't know if they will. Also, a nice, beautiful high grade of the Nobel is the thing that I really, really want more than finishing off the, getting the Bolt. But I really want the Nobel. I would buy the Nobel if that came out. Anyway, My alternative to Amazon is to have a throne wish list. There's some stuff on there. See if there's anything there you'd like to pick up for me. There's some gift cards and some various other things and things. And then USA Gundam Store, the most convoluted way to support me financially. You go to USA Gundam Store. You buy a gift card at USA Gundam Store. They send you an email with the gift card code. Then you send me a whisper here on Twitch or a DM on Twitter or a private message on Blue Sky or Mastodon with that gift card code, and I will use that to purchase something on USA Gundam Store. They're having some deals. They just moved warehouses. They occasionally have some deals over there of some stuff that's pretty neat. If you want to support me and not spend any money, I got a Discord. You're welcome to join that Discord. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on or just stuff they think would be neat. There's some good conversation that happens over there. I will have next week a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. My current episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club has done pretty well. It is about how there's no such thing as reverse isekai, and in fact, it's just isekai that take place on Earth. The idea of reverse isekai doesn't make any sense. Different world does not mean a different world from Earth. It's just a different world from the main character. So I looked at a couple isekai that are set on Earth and talked about those. And then Kuma Baer, my weekly anime recommendation series. In under a minute, I recommend an anime. Every month there's a different theme. This month's theme was, of course, chill slice of life. And I talked about the overlooked and underrated Place to Place. A anime set up like it's a romantic comedy set in a high school, but in fact is not. The romance is very low. It is just a cute, fun, chill slice of life that is genuinely funny. Why does one character have a lab coat? Why is one character named Hime and she is weak to other characters having signs of affection? Why is one guy so fucking dumb? I don't know, but it's great and so funny and so weird. Place to Place is awesome. Please check it out. It's on High Dive. You can watch the 1 minute video to wet your whistle for it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into some manga talk and some anime talk. I'll talk about a manga I'm reading. I'll talk about anime I'm watching, and then video game talk later. To prep for that, what I need to do is drink some water and dramatically transition back to the overhead camera so I can talk about this manga that I've been reading. And we'll dramatically do that right now. Ooh, work. There we go. Awesome. Hell yeah. So, I have been reading a new manga named Porter of Heroes. I believe there's only like 11 chapters so far. Okay. Porter of Heroes is not an isekai. The main character has not been summoned to another world. He is overpowered. Yes. Here's a twist. The twist on the formula. Oh, he was part of the hero's party, right? He was part of the hero's party. He was a porter. He went along with the adventures. They defeated the demon lord. He didn't get kicked out. It's not a kicked/banished story. It's a twist on that, in that they went their separate ways and everyone likes him. It is none of that like, oh, they don't understand how good he is or how strong he is or what his worth is. He doesn't necessarily believe in himself. But everybody else does. The heroes are like, the first episode like, oh, well, he'll be fine because, of course, he's strong. And again, he doesn't necessarily believe that he's strong. Our main guy, Liddy, here's the thing. You get stronger. He leveled up as a porter. He has no combat skills, but he has great evasion. And he's got incredible defense because he had to dodge stuff and he had to carry a lot of stuff. Basically, if he's carrying you, he's got no issue. He can just carry whatever. At one point, he's carrying around a princess in the story. He meets a princess who's her life is in danger. He's trying to help her out. He basically makes a backpack for her to sit in so that he can carry her around. Anyway, when they defeat the Demon Lord, he's like, I'd like to try being an adventurer. I had such a good time being your porter. I'd like to go off there. And they're like, yeah. And so much so that like he runs into some of them at various places and gets training from them along the way because there's some shit going on in the background. Clearly, maybe there's a new Demon Lord. We don't know. We're not sure what's going on, but there's certainly things are weird, and they're basically like, we want to protect Liddy's future. And this young lady, also there's a talking little dragon that is the princess's friend. And I should say a part of this is the fact that he is unaware of how strong he is. That's unfortunately that is an element of this. I don't think that it takes away from the series that he is like kind of clueless about his own self-worth, because it's not like it really becomes a huge problem along the way. He does come up with a move where he's like, oh, I have a defense move, which is basically like reflection and is an attack, because he's like, I don't know how to fight and I'm not good at it. I don't have any abilities in armor or anything like that. So it's a little silly in that way. There's a lot of heart to it. There's a lot of humor in the fact that he is clearly so strong. It's a good little show, or book, I should say. That's Porter of Heroes. I don't have a lot to say about it. It's enjoyable. I think that's the big takeaway for me, is that I just enjoy reading it. This is like a fun time. All right, that goes like that, I think. Okay. If I'm putting these polycaps in wrong, or the wrong way, I'll be able to find out very quickly, and I'll be able to adjust that, no problem. But yeah, Porter Heroes is just cute. It's just a cute, fun little time. I recommend it. It's out there officially. I think it's a Manga Up. I can't remember where I'm reading it. I want to say it's a Manga Up, but it might be another manga reader place. But yeah, I've enjoyed my time with it. I think that's a fun series. So not much to say there. It's not reinventing the wheel, but it is unique in that, as I said, it is unique in the fact that he has not been kicked out. That there is an amicable split, and they're supportive of him. They're maybe occasionally protective, but they're very supportive, and that's nice. It's nice to have that element to it. All right, what else? It's time to talk about some anime. I got one show to talk to you about. Let's talk about my dear friend Nokotan. Holy shit, this fucking episode. This episode is, most of it is one story, and then the second half is like a little shorter. Or the second section, I should say, not half. But the second section is a little shorter. This gets weird. Okay, so if you've watched enough anime, especially slice of life style anime or high school set anime, it's a shrine visit. The members of the Deer Club go to the Shikigami Shrine, and they're supposed to meet Nokotan, but they can't find Nokotan. Nokotan's supposed to meet them there. This is Koshi, Anko, Bashime. They can't find her. They're looking around. They don't see where she is. They make it to the top, and there's a big commotion. And then there's fucking Nokotan. And Nokotan is dressed as a shrine maiden. And is referred to as the deer god. And the narrator's is like, oh, looks like Nokotan's become a goddess. And it's one of those things where you're like, well, this show is so weird that, is that true? Is that what's happening right now? And I'm like, I don't know. But this person says that they're not Nokotan. They say, I don't know who that is. I'm not Nokotan. Inukai greets Koshi and her friends. That is the head of the shrine maiden, and says that, yeah, this is our goddess. And it turns out that there are all of the fortunes at this shrine are deer themed, which I guess supports the evidence that this is, at the very least, the deer god is someone that they worship. Is this Nokotan or not? We don't know. Maybe we'll fucking learn eventually who this is, but right now it is being presented to us as maybe this is fucking Nokotan. All right, so the back ones here need polycaps. The front ones don't, or do all of these? Okay. Sorry, let me get this together here. This is J9. So yeah. Then it turns out the other members of the club, what club is that? Oh yeah, that is the student council show up, and Nokotan is just like, hey, try the antler soup. Then Nokotan is part of a ritual. Everybody leaves, and then they bump into Nokotan away from the shrine. And Nokotan's like, I just got here. And Koshi's just like, what the fuck was going on with you? And doing all this stuff and pretending like you don't know us and all of that. To which Nokotan is just like, that was not me. You may have just actually met the deer god. Cool. And they're like, I think they believe her. And then she's just like, hey, drink this. Like, here's a beverage for the new year. And it's antler soup. So that means that Nokotan was the deer god and Nokotan is either the deer god or was pretending to be the deer god for a ritual. And we don't know. But I do know that whole shit was weird as hell. And then the anime does the thing that sometimes anime do, like these weird shows where they break the fourth wall and we cut to like a stage and they're talking to us like we're an audience at like a play. And Nokotan is wearing the deer god outfit and is just like, hey, thanks for watching my dear friend Nokotan. I hope you keep watching the show. Please keep supporting us. And it's like, what the fuck? What's happening right now? Okay, sure. That's like the first chunk of the episode. And then we get to the second chunk of the episode. Once I put these pieces in here, this has to go in like this. Okay. The second chunk of the episode is them playing the game of life. It's board game. We're doing a board game, except it's not the game of life. It's the game of deer life. The narrator goes over the rules. In this game, it's a bunch of nonsense. It's kind of like the game of life, and sometimes it's acted out like it's real through like imagination, and sometimes it's just what's happening in the thing. I guess it's kind of important to note that there's like a Pokemon reference in this. There's a bunch of pop culture references, like slight pop culture references in this particular thing. Sorry about that. They play the game. Nokotan's doing bad, but she does a thing that happened by having that soup, that antler soup earlier. Nokotan now has moose antlers, so she evolves in real life and in the game. I don't ask me how that happens, but it does. That's something that happens. So she starts doing better. Nokotan earns a bunch of deer crackers, which is the currency. Koshi does well, but then it's found out that Koshi isn't a deer. In the game, she is a capybara, and then there's a big scandal, and she loses all her money. And then Bashame, it looks like Bashame is hurt. She's not been playing the game. Turns out, no, because it's the new year, Bashame ate too much mochi. Ha ha ha. She ate too much mochi and she's not feeling well because that's what you do in the new year is you eat mochi. So then Nokotan touches her with her new moose antlers and heals her. And then Bashame is no longer feeling bad because apparently these antlers can magically help her out. And the episode is done with Koshi being like, your antlers are overpowered. It was a weird end to a good episode. All right, J6 and J1. This was a bonkers episode. This show is so weird. I really love it. To me, it is more than just a good song, which it is. The opening theme is class and is real good, but there's something even more going on here with this particular program. It's just so weird and so good. I do recommend it. I do think that my dear friend Nokotan is so great, and Noko rules, and everything is excellent about it. It's just a wild, weird show. All right, we're going to put on this part here of our backpack piece. Then we got 2 more stickers to put on, which are the last stickers on this kit. And then we got to panel line this and then shove it on the back of it. And then we have a claw arm weapon, which has a rope thing that can get attached to it. Basically, this becomes a generator from one of the other thrones. And so we don't need to build that, and we probably won't build that part. But it attaches to it and attaches to the back of another throne. And these open up. These can pop up. So maybe I should have panel lined underneath it before this, but whatever. These pop up. I'll use this to... There it goes. Oh, yeah. There we go. Press down, and then they pop up. This doesn't want to pop up as much. There it goes. That's fun. A cool backpack. We will use the stand. I do have a stand for this, and I will take photos of the stand, or take photos of this in the stand, because I think that'll look cooler. We do have one more. We do have the weapon thing that we'll build as well once I attach these stickers. Now is the part of the stream, friends, where I want to hear from you. What are you watching right now? What are you playing? What are you up to? What are you into? I always like to hear from you about what you got going on, video game wise or other. It's always fun for me to hear what you're up to. You went to the movies over the weekend. Did you watch the wrestling like I did? What's up? What's going on? I will tell you that I played Fall Guys last night, and I was not expecting to. I was not planning on playing Fall Guys. It just happened. Normally I watch Sunday evenings, or normally the evenings that I watch some wrestling with some friends. Friends and I get together and we watch some wrestling on a Discord, and it's fun. But because I watched the AEW pay-per-view, I did not watch wrestling on a Sunday night. My multiplayer crew, like 2 of the people in my multiplayer crew, we have a Discord dedicated to getting people together for games. Some people were like, oh, let's play Helldivers. And people weren't super into the idea. There's like one guy in our group who got Concord. We said we probably weren't going to all get Concord. He got Concord. So he was trying to encourage people to play Concord. That didn't work out. And then someone just said, we haven't played Fall Guys in a while. What if we all played Fall Guys together and we were just on voice chat and we all got in the same, we all tried to, get in together and do that. And we did that, and it was really fun. I haven't played Fall Guys in a long time. I'm no pro gamer, but I do okay. That was really fun. Honestly, it's just a fun time with friends. I just had a good time with some friends playing some Fall Guys. My character looks like an Among Us, because I thought that was very funny. But otherwise, it's just a good time. Good time with friends. I am very unhappy in Hearthstone right now. I do not like... there are a lot of decks that suck. Look, here's the thing. If you're in the time in Hearthstone between like expansions and the mini set, and if the most popular deck in Hearthstone is a deck that involves pirates, it's not a good time. There are these zoo decks with pirates that just overwhelm the board. You have to play control against them because even other zoo decks don't do well. I don't really like playing control decks. I like playing some mid-range weirdness, and you can't get to the mid-range to do anything. So I'm just losing all the time, and it's not fun. I'm having a better time in standard, but all my decks are weird. I did build a standard evolve deck. There's not a lot of evolve cards in standard, but there's enough. And there's like a couple cards that make that worthwhile. So I've been playing that, and I don't hate that. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It's been okay to do that. But yeah, I'm not loving Hearthstone at the moment. I prepped for tomorrow's stream. Yeah, Nathan's also not happy with the current Hearthstone meta. Yeah, I did prep my stream for tomorrow. I hope people will come by. I'm going to check out the Muckingham Files Part 4, which is the latest free content update for Power Wash Simulator. So I'll be back to power washing. We'll simulate some power washing. That's always a good time. I'm always having fun playing that. So we'll check that out on Tuesday, tomorrow night. So please come check that stream out. Both of the things look cool. It'll be a fun build or a fun wash. Those, and that's a free update. So you can see me do that free update. I'll jump between the two of them because they're both unlocked, and maybe I'll finish one, but at the very least, we'll check out both of them. And that's pretty much it for me, other than watching the wrestling. I did watch on my own time the finals of the Princess Cup for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. Holy shit, that fucking whipped ass. The idea that someone who is not an active member of the company, but is instead a part-timer and an independent wrestler winning their cup is so cool. Also, Yopi is signing, which fucking whips ass. I always call her Yopi because that's her name, her nickname. Yoshiko Hasagawa. I've never said her name out loud, I don't think. Yoshiko Hasagawa, aka Yopi, was an independent wrestler that was working with Gambare. She has left Gambare. Starting in September, she will be full-time with Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. She is currently 37. She got into wrestling in her early 30s. She's only been doing it for a few years. She's so solid, so great. Crowd loves her. She's such a good fit for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. I love that. I love that for them. And I love that for me as a fan of Yoshiko. It's a good time. Nathan finished both parts of Tokyo Ghoul and really enjoyed it. Maybe I'm late to the party, but I feel like that manga isn't talked about enough. I think it's because the anime is very derisive that the manga isn't talked about as much. Because the anime is just like, I don't know. I just think that it some people really love it and some people are just like, fuck that shit. I don't want to talk about that show. So that maybe affected people talking about the manga. Ghost Vows play Monster Hunter World. Finally finished the shed structure, which just needs flooring and putting stuff in it. Still comfort watching the Great British Baking Show. Nice. Well, good luck on all your projects. Enjoy the Great British Baking Show. I hope you're having a good time with that program. Aristophan says school is starting, so things are very busy. As always, Aristophan, I understand. Been playing Portal 2, which has been nice to get back to after many years. Hell yeah. I look forward to starting the new Star Wars game. Oh yes, Outlaws. I watched Jeff Gerstmann play that a bit today. He played it for a while. I only watched a bit of it. And I thought that seemed like a pretty cool video game. I was like, oh, all right, yeah, all right, sure. All right, we got our strut thing on here. I'll take a photo of it in a bit here, show off everything. We'll get it from a couple angles once I do this, because I'm going to put it on a stand. We do have one other piece to build here, but I'll get this going and then do the last bit here. Oops, come on. Come on. Is this going to work? Oh, is this not going to work? Come on, stand. Good. This little cheap stand is so great for posing for this kind of a thing. It just works really well for me. We also playing more Final Fantasy 14, says Lashbrook. Very close to completing the Heaven Sword expansion. I took forever doing it, but it's a very good story, and also all the wrestling. Ristvan says Final Fantasy 14 story keeps getting better. Hell yeah. Yes, Lashbrook, there was many wrestles to watch. Indeed. Oh, this kind of goes like this. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, I like that. This goes down, and this kind of goes up like this. Oh, that's pretty cool. This kit is neat. I don't know why it doesn't come with a beam saber. It has the beam saber holders, but it doesn't come with any beams. It also comes with an alternative shield, which I'm not going to set up because I don't need the alternative shield. And then one last thing I got to build, and then this kit is done, is the... oops, push this over here. Whoops, oh no. Is the thing that connects it, because it looks like a cool weapon. Because the one thing this kit doesn't really have is weapons. It doesn't really come with weapons. And it's strange it doesn't have beam sabers. I know I keep saying that it's weird, but it is weird to me that it doesn't come with even a single beam. Even though it has the holders for it. Whatever. Instead, it's got this thing that connects to another one. I guess I would want to have the other thrones. Lord Crashton has been playing more Concord and still enjoying it a lot. Nice, yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hope you're still managing to get some games in. I know that it's the joke is that nobody's playing it, but also it does seem like not a lot of people are playing it. So maybe it'll get a big critical response. Maybe a streamer of note will start maining it, and then a bunch of people will be like, oh yeah, I also play Concord. Who knows? It could happen. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it could happen. It's nice to play a multiplayer game that's not built around a lot of FOMO unlocks. Yeah, I can see that. Like I said, there's only one person in my crew, in the multiplayer Discord crew, that has been pushing for us to play it, so it just hasn't hit anybody. I do have what day am I going to do that? Wednesday, I have a D&D session. We have taken a bit of a break here. We are at the mercy of two of our members are incredibly busy with full-time jobs, and one has a full-time job and a child now. So some of us are way more flexible with our schedule, like me. I'm way more fucking flexible. So it's just like, sometimes you just go, well, when can you do it? And we'll make that work whenever you're free. Okay, so this goes like this. Sorry, I just don't know how this... Nope, that doesn't go like that. Okay, so this goes like that. Okay. This goes like that. This clips in there. And then that lets this clip in like this. Now I get it. Got it. Yeah, this is our only weapon, I think, on this kit. So we'll get that on there. Yeah, it just hasn't hit us. Maybe people will want to do it. Like I said, we played Fall Guys. I don't fucking know. I don't know what's going on. We had an interest to play Fall Guys, and that's what we ended up doing, which I thought was fun. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to do it all the time, but it was nice to be in a Discord call goofing around and then being like, oh, check out my camera. I'll see what I'm doing. Or, oh, no, I'm out. I don't know. Sometimes you just want some beans. Yeah, it was just fun to have some beans. I don't know. That was neat. I got to catch up. I watched the finals of Tokyo Joshi, the Princess Cup tournament, but I didn't watch the semifinals because they came out this past weekend. They did the finals and semifinals in the same weekend, and I'm just like, fuck, I'm busy. So I'm going to watch that on Wednesday, and then I'm going to watch the finals again with the whole crew on that Sunday. I want to track down Pro Wrestling Eve, the UK-based, the London-based group, because they had some Japanese wrestlers on their show, their big show, like all-in weekend. So I kind of want to track that show down because lots of Joshi were in that, and I want to see it. I want to see the people I like hanging out. Some of them went to go see All In, and there's a fun photo of Kimari and Mahiro with Willow Nightingale, and I was like, "Oh, that's great! I'm so happy they got to go see the show." And there's also a photo she took with Miyu Watanabe. I was kind of hoping that Miyu was going to stick around and not stick around, but was going to get on the card for something. She was going to go up early and be on the Wales card or something for AEW, but that was not meant to be. But it was neat to see them together. I don't know if Raku didn't take a photo. Maybe Raku didn't go. I don't know. Maybe she didn't go to see All In. Who can say? She did also sing to open up that Eve show, which is a nice touch. Anyway, this kit's done. Guess what, everybody? We finished this kit. There is a wire that I can attach to this to do that, but I'm not going to do that. Vampire Survivors on PS5. Nice, Lord Cratchit. Hell yeah. The big game release that everyone's talking about. So I will run a poll. I will post it tomorrow for my $10 patrons over on my Patreon. And they will get to vote on what I'm building next from my backlog. We got a couple minutes. I can just kind of, I've done this before where I've just like put in some photos for you to look at. I will say right here, I have finished this. This kit is done. It was neat. I'll take a photo after the stream. I like this support so they can have a backpack, even though it's got this thing coming to the back of it. Do I want to build the other thrones to put them all together? Not really. Do I think this is pretty neat? Yeah, I think it's a pretty cool kit. It's a little different. Lord Crashing, that's too hot, so I hope you don't have to do much tomorrow. Yeah, so you know what I'll do? We'll do, let's see, what's the best way to do this? We'll go to this view, and then I'm just going to add in some images here. Yeah, we'll do that. I'm going to try to add in some images from my folder of, yeah. So let's talk about what's in my backlog. In my backlog, well, not the Dragon Gundam, because that'll come another time. So we can get rid of that. If I go to this, that disappears, and then I click this away. Yeah. Goodbye, Drei. We don't need you anymore. Here's what I got in my backlog. The Full Armor Gundam 7th. The Full Armor Gundam 7th is recently added. It was delivered literally today. So I have that. That is a kit that is in my backlog that I will build at some point. It looks fucking really cool. It's got a big shoulder-mounted weapon. I'm a huge fan of that. You know me. Big fan of the large weapon. So I got that. That's coming, or that's here. That is a possibility. I might build that soon. I have the Heingra. The Heingra is a premium Bandai kit I haven't built yet. This is it's in the line of the like Hindry and various other grunts from Witch from Mercury. It was a premium Bandai kit. I just it hasn't won a poll yet, but I like the look of it. So that's on my to build list, is the Hindry. Then I have 2 entry grade kits. I have the RX-782 full weapon set. Have I built the RX-782 entry grade before? Yes. Have I built the RX-782 US edition that was the exclusive for Target? I think it was the Target exclusive. I can't remember, but it was from the one of the shows, and it was like the US variant. It just had extra stickers. Yes, I built that. But this one has the full weapons. The other one didn't have the full weapons. So this is the full weapon version. It's got the bazooka, basically. Also, that's just a great entry grade. I have that entry grade, and I'm going to pair that with another entry grade that just came in my collection, the LAH Gundam, or is it the Law? I don't know. I'm going to look it up. I don't know how to pronounce it. Is it the LAH? This is from Metaverse, I believe. I'm not sure what this is from. I like it, though. It's an old school looking Gundam with a cool shield. It's got like a stabby shield. That's another entry grade. I'll probably build these 2 back to back because entry grades don't take that long. So I'll just kind of do them back to back. And then that's the model kits I have in my backlog. What about Pat? What about Lego? What kind of Lego do I have? Well, I have the Lego City Blue Monster Truck. This is a small kit. This will be a small build. The monster truck is very small here. It's a big photo of a small thing. Gotta push that over there. Put that over there. We'll just bring this up like that. There we go. That's a small little Lego friend, but that'll be a fun little build. Then bigger sets, I have the Lego City 4x4 Off-Roader Adventure, which you can see comes with, has a little cool car and also comes with a tent. And it has like the whole like off-roading experience. I just think that's neat. I think that's a fun looking kit. That's a 252 piece, so that'll take a little while to build. I love just the suspension on this, how tall it is compared to the other things. A little bike. It's a little set. I like that. Off-roading adventure. I think that's neat. And then finally, the last piece of my backlog currently is the Lego City Space Explorer Rover. Let me bring that in here. There it is. And somehow it looks more like a monster truck than a monster truck. Than the monster truck. Yeah, it looks a little bit more like the other monster truck, the off-roader. This is a 300-piece kit. This is part of the Space Anniversary Collection for Lego. I'm going to just move this so it's behind a bunch of stuff here. There we go. We'll just put that over there. There it is. It's right over there. That is a space rover. It comes with aliens as well. Little alien life forms. It's cool looking. And that's it. We need a Mass Effect Mako kit. Yeah, that could be neat. I don't disagree that could be cool. And that's what I've got. That's my backlog right now. I will have more stuff coming. I am waiting for a credit card to need a payment to be made because that is my Amazon card. So when I start paying that down, then I can start using it for buying stuff because I get reward points for Amazon off purchases, which is nice. So I like to use that for for purchases. But that's my backlog. I will be buying more stuff, as I said. If anything comes in from my Amazon wish list, that'll jump the queue, of course. But my patrons will decide what I'm building next. I don't know what I usually put something kind of new and something that I've had, I usually put the newer things. Ooh, that was the wrong thing. I got rid of the fun background. I don't want to do that. I want to get rid of these things. I'll just do it from here. There we go. Okay. Yeah, get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. And get out of here. We did it. So yeah, I'll put something new, probably the full armor Gundam 7th. I'll probably put that in there. And then some stuff like the Lego, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to put in my poll, but it'll be 3 things. Maybe I'll put both of the entry grades together as one thing and say like, hey, you can vote for that. But anyway, that's going to do it for tonight's stream. I didn't want to start something new because I haven't done the poll yet, so I just figured I'd give you an update on what the backlog looked like, and maybe encourage people to go to my wish list to see if there's something there that they'd like to see me build. But we are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here. We're going to find somebody doing cool shit out there. Go give them some love. It is a Monday, and Mary Kish is playing Arco. So we're going to go hang out with Mary for some Merry Monday and see what's up with a good old Mary Kish, the good old Mary Kish playing Arco for Merry Monday. And yeah, I hope you come along on this raid. That is the end of our stream tonight. Remember, tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern, I will be streaming here on twitch.tv/PatBear, and we will be checking out the latest free update for Power Wash Simulator, the Muckingham Files 4, washing a couple things, and then maybe going back and if we finish both of them in that 2 hours, then I will go and you can watch me try to complete the fountain that I've finished but didn't get credit for finishing. Thank you all so much for watching this video, or this video. Thanks for watching the stream. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Let's go hang out with Mary. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.